I would like to invite Paul and Storm out to help me tell one final story for tonight.
Yelly McPackpants is my MC Frontalot cover band. In case you were wondering if we were listening backstage or anything.
Good. I would like to talk to you all about my version of Jesus Christ.
Which is my ministry cover band.
I once saw a guy come up on stage and hang his jacket on the microphone, and I thought it looked cool. It kind of doesn't. Just looks kind of stupid. Hang on, I'm going to try it a different way. Fucking YOLO, guys.
I love that you flipped off the audience like they give a shit what you do with your jacket.
Dude!
Oh man, I really wanted to give you the jacket on the microphone stand. Dear internet, this concert sucked.
How is that going to stop Coney 2012, Paul? Mr. Hollywood. So this is another story. Now, the stories that I told you before live in my head, but this story actually lives on paper because there's cues in it so that Paul and Storm can help me tell you this story using the magic of music. So, Paul and Storm, go ahead. Here. I'll hold my words.
Ooh. You're a giver, Will.
That's what my secret admirer thinks. This is called This Is the Way I Remember It. As I said at the beginning, not that it matters, but most of this is true. When I was 6 years old, I set foot onto a T-ball diamond for the very first time. I was skinny, awkward, and unsure of myself. I was basically a smaller version of the teenager and adult I'd eventually become. And I didn't have very good coordination. But my dad loved baseball. And I knew that if my dad loved it, I loved it too, because that is the way things work when you're 6. It was the spring of 1978, when smog alerts were as common as reality shows are today, and hazy, reddish-gold sunlight shone down on the field at Sunland Park. The sounds of other kids playing on the swings and in the giant rocket ship at the playground mingled with the smell of barbecue smoke as I stepped up to the plate to take my first practice swings.
We're talking baseball, little Will is playing, talking baseball, he's such a little slugger.
My first swing connected with the middle of the tee. The baseball, back in those days of gas lines, putting on sweaters, and national malaise, we didn't have the soft, reduced injury balls that my kids grew up getting to play with. It fell off and landed in the batter's box on the other side of the plate. And the other kids giggled while the coach clapped his hands and shouted encouraging words to me as I picked the ball up and put it back on the tee. I looked up and I saw my father's expectant face through the chain-link fence near the dugout. I slowly and deliberately lifted my bat. I held it out at arm's length, and I aimed at the top of the tee with one eye closed. I stuck out my tongue, and I furrowed my brow. I tasted sweat on the corners of my mouth and felt my heart beating in my ears. The bat touched the ball, and it fell off again. The kids giggled again. The coach clapped again. I replaced the ball on the tee again. "Come on, Willow," my dad said. "You can do it." I took a deep breath, held the bat as tightly as I could, and I swung for the fences.
Talking baseball, everybody's watching. Talking baseball, it's getting kind of awkward.
The ball sailed off the tee toward right field. I watched it go, absolutely astonished that it was in the air, just like a real baseball player. "Run to first, Will! Run as fast as you can!" It was my dad, excitedly hollering at me through the fence, joy in his voice. I dropped the bat and ran as fast as I could, my imitation Vans shoes kicking up small puffs of rust-colored dust the whole way.
Talking baseball, starting to get the hang of it. Talking baseball, I'm sure this will all turn out well.
"That was great, Will," the coach said. "Okay, who's next?" I went back to the dugout and I watched the other kids bat around. Most of them were more successful than I was, except for one kid named Brian, who wore glasses, had perpetual bedhead, and a nose that only stopped running when he jammed his fingers into it, which was always. Brian was last. He hit a soft ground ball to short, and the coach gathered us together at home plate, where he told us to take a knee. I looked around uncertainly until the kid next to me kneeled down. "Oh, take a knee," I thought. "I get it. Neat." I took a knee and I looked up at the coach. He had the kind of beard and sunglasses you would expect to see on a suburban Little League coach in 1978, or Jonathan Coulton today. He wore a dirty baseball jersey with yellow sleeves. "That was great, everyone," he said. "Now, we're going to hit some balls without the tee." Wait, what? The thought of a ball being thrown at me filled me with dread. Wasn't avoiding that the whole point of T-ball? I looked for my dad as I walked past a home plate. We made eye contact and he must have seen how terrified I was. "You're gonna be fine, Willow," he said. Dad smiled. He was proud of me. My dad believed in me.
Baseball, he needs some reassurance. Talking baseball, don't be such a pussy.
I stepped into the batter's box and picked up my bat. I held it high, pointing it up to the sky, just like my dad had taught me. I looked at the pitcher's mound, where the coach's son, a big kid named Kenny, got ready to deliver the ball. Kenny was a year older than me, and probably outweighed me by 15 pounds. He had shaggy long hair, and kind of looked like a male version of Tatum O'Neal in the Bad News Bears. He began his wind-up, and I lost my nerve. I looked up at my father. "Dad, I'm scared." The ball hit me in the side of the face, just above my left cheek, with a soft, fleshy smack that sounded like a gunshot inside my head. There was a collective groan from the other kids, and a few gasps from the adults. I fell to the ground, and I burst into tears.
Baseball, subdermal hematoma. Baseball, should have put the film on YouTube.
My dad ran out onto the field, helped me up, and inspected my face. There wasn't any blood, and it didn't even look like it was going to bruise. Like most childhood injuries, the fear was worse than the actual wound. The coach asked me if I wanted to try again. Now, I'm sure that there were kids who would have bravely stood up, dusted it off, and tried again, but I was not one of those kids. I shook my head, and I clung to my dad. Kenny had joined us. "I'm really sorry," he said. "It's okay," I mumbled. "I think I'm going to take him home," my dad told the coach. "Okay," the coach said. "I'll see you next week." When we got into the car, my dad took a closer look at my face. "You're going to be okay," he said. "We'll just put some ice on it when we get home." 2 miles, 1 stoplight, and 3 stop signs separated the park from our house. By the time we got to the second stop sign, I had pretty much gotten myself under control. My face stung a little bit, but that was all. My dad put his hand on my shoulder and he said, kindly, "Hey, you just took your eye off the ball. Next time, The whole thing flooded back to me. Kenny's wind-up, the ball speeding at my face, the sound it made when it crashed into me. I burst into tears anew. I don't want to play baseball anymore. I cried.
Baseball. Young Will sure was a crier. Baseball. And you want to play your baseball.
I'm sure that my dad was disappointed. He had played baseball from grade school all the way to college. Baseball, Dodger baseball specifically, is more than a game in the Wheaton family. It is religion. Okay, he said gently. You don't have to do anything if you don't want to. Maybe you can try again next year. I didn't try again next year, or the year after that, or ever. I wasn't going to be good at baseball. I would never be good at baseball. But that was okay, because my dad accepted me as that weird, cerebral, bookish, geeky kid who just wasn't that good at or interested in sports.
Well, the cat's in the key, silver spoon, little boy blue with a
My father respected that I wasn't competitive. He understood that I was happier pretending to be an elven wizard, accompanying a group of adventurers into a dungeon to fight a beholder, than a kid nobody wanted on their team who would stand on a baseball field hoping like hell that the ball never came anywhere near him. The most important tool a writer has is his imagination, and it's very important for actors as well. Seeing as how I support my family by doing both, I am so grateful that as a child, I was encouraged to embrace the things I loved, things that also happened to help my imagination develop. Because in my imagination, I am one hell of a baseball player.
Especially Willie, Mickey, and the Duke.
Thank you very much. And congratulations, Red Sox Nation. I understand your sports ball club is doing quite well this season.
Okay, I got a little bit of house cleaning to take care of, which is for... What are you, Canadian? Just my...
Bare Naked Ladies cover band. There you go.
It is worth mentioning that we have some merchandise for sale in the back corner of the room. In addition to...
Yeah!
Merca.
Nice.
In addition to our CDs and things like that, we have the ever famous Paul and Storm Blank is the name of my blank cover band shirt. Which you can fill in if you get an erasable marker. You can fill it in a bunch of times and do the joke just as often as we do.
Good luck with that.
It is also worth mentioning the following calendar that Will and his wife have put out. Why don't you go ahead and explain to the people?
Okay. For most of this year, my wife went around to a lot of our friends who are well-known kind of nerd celebrities and helped photograph them with their rescued adopted pets. Here's Phil Lamar with his kitty, Sammy Joe. Here's Jenna Bush with her dog, Finny. Here is Adam Savage with his dogs, Huxley and Maggie. There's one more in here.
Dude, no
that
spoilers.
I'd be interested in. Here's Seth Green and Claire Grant with their kitty, Luna. And, of course, as I mentioned about dogs with neckties, Felicia Day with her dog, Cubby. Anne worked on this and put this together as a fundraiser to raise money for the Pasadena Humane Society, where we adopted Seamus and Marlowe. Riley was adopted from a private rescue. And we're selling it this year to raise money for the Humane Society. We have a few of them left. How many are left, honey? There's like 5 left, so what you should probably do is...
How much are we bid?
You should probably move in as chaotic and dangerous a fashion, as rapidly and Altamont Speedway-like as you can, to the merch table so that you can get in line. We're asking for a minimum donation of $40. It's 100% tax deductible. You'll get a receipt from the Humane Society, and you can take it off your taxes. And it does a lot of really super awesome, great stuff for the animals, and
it's also 100% of your donation goes directly to the Pasadena Humane Society. It's not like Will takes 40% for beer funding or anything like that.
Oh yeah, that's right. The beer fund is an entirely separate thing. 100% of your money goes directly to the Pasadena Humane Society. The House agreed not to take a cut. We're not taking anything for it, and that's what that is.
Thanks for that. Are there? Let me ask. Since there's only 5 available, are there more available online, or is this it?
Yes, you can still donate directly to the Humane Society. We'll mail one.
Right. If you go to my blog, which is at wilwheaton.net, you'll see a link at the top of the page, and then you can go directly to the Humane Society, make a donation, and one will be sent to you. There's probably about a 2-week lag time right now, just because we've been on the road, you guys.
Dude, it's so hard,
Man, the road is fucking tough.
Let me tell you, brother.
Yeah.
We're on
I'm talking about the road.
We're on day fucking 4.
Yeah.
We have had to Priceline 4-star hotels.
Up on the stage, here I am, and start again. Here I go, turn the page.
And we're wanted, dead or alive. Most germane.
That's also true.
Most germane to what is about to happen is we also have for sale here in this building this very evening the I Endured Blank Minutes of the Captain's Wife's Lament at the Blank Paul and Storm Show. I mentioned that because it is 10:21 p.m. on Sunday, October 6th, which means it is time for a song about pirates.